And we
Yeah.
are live. Yes, Sidhu, take the stage.
Okay. What a great day to learn. Greetings. Myself, Siddharth S., lead of Developer Students Club, Model Engineering College. Along with me, Aditya, lead of DevQuest, and we welcome all of you to the first session of the much awaited UI UX Bootcamp. DSC
Yeah,
MEC
give us
has
some
always
cheers, guys,
been
in the chats.
DSC MEC has always been motivating students to learn, connect, and grow. And this is going to be a great learning experience to all of you. We are so excited to share that we got an overwhelming responses, that is 600 plus responses. Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you, Sidhu. So it has been an amazing response from you guys, and we are really proud to conduct this session. So I'll give you a quick introduction about what DevQuest is. So DevQuest is essentially a student community built by the students for the students, such that we tend to uh, get a developer culture involved and also helps each other so that we can learn together. So why we conducted this bootcamp is because, especially in the UI UX field, is because that we feel that UI UX is really underestimated and it has a great potential. And this is a field that nobody, especially in technical colleges, they don't give much about it. So we wanted to enlighten you guys with the power of UI UX. So I invite upon Janice and Isaac, who will be our hosts for this session, who will be taking this session. Can we bring them up on stage, Janice and Isaac? Hey guys.
Hey,
So
Hi.
Janice is the previous UI UX lead at Developer Students Club MEC, and Isaac is the current lead at DSC MEC, and Isaac is also the lead UI UX developer at DevQuest MEC. So welcome, guys.
thank you.
Hello
Okay,
everyone, great to see you all.
great.
Drop
So
some fire in the chat if you are excited.
yes, so I actually have a few questions for you guys. I guess most of the guys in the chats are also wondering this. How did you get into UI UX, and what inspired you to start?
All right.
Let's go with Isaac first.
All right. So, an year before, in the 2020 was a year of lot of incidents, right? And during the vacation, I attended a workshop, a UI UX workshop conducted by my friend Nandu, hosted by Hack Club. And that's when I knew there was a field inside tech that actually uses uh, design to connect with people to solve the common problems that people come through in a daily life. That's when I was hooked into UI UX, and for the past year, I've been learning and working as a UI designer. And yeah, that's about me. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you also started at a boot camp, right? So that is
Yeah.
exactly why we're conducting this. So we could spread the knowledge that we have, that the knowledge that we gain to many others, and even they can take sessions like this after our boot camp is over. Over to you, Janice. So what inspired you to start UI UX and the entire journey?
Okay, so for me, I think it was knowing that this field exists and it is the perfect blend of tech and creativity. I like doing anything that allows me to be creative. And then I joined engineering college and I got to know about UI UX and it felt like the right field for me. So yeah, I started learning by myself online, and there's a lot of great resources for you to start learning online. And then I joined DSC and got to network with a lot of people and work on projects. And then my interest grew from there. So that is kind of my journey into UI UX.
That is amazing. So I wish everyone in the participants take inspiration and also start their own UI UX journey after the bootcamp. So I'm leaving you guys on the stage. So take over the stage, guys. It's up to you.
All right. So today, I hope everyone is excited. We have something amazing planned for the next 6 days. That will be alternate days from starting today, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11. So that's the 6 days we'll be having this bootcamp, and we have a lot planned. I'll provide you with an overview of what we are looking at in the coming days. Today we'll be starting with an introduction to UI UX, what UI is, what UX is, and in the coming days you guys will get to know more about the UX design process, that what it takes to build an app, like the UX, the research involved, the user flows, the sketching, the wireframing, the mockup. Don't get intimidated by any of these words. You will get along with this just fine. Just you guys wait and see. So so this is what we are planning, and in order we have a system plan where you can. This becomes a hands-on workshop. We are not conducting it on Google Meet or Zoom, so we have to do this in order for you guys to participate along with us. So what we are planning is we'll give you each a task in each day for the next 5 days, and you can that you can submit on Figma. We'll show you guys how you can do that during this introduction session. And the tool we'll be using for this workshop is Figma. Okay, if you can share my screen. All right, this is the homepage for Figma, and here, as you can see, this is just the homepage. I have a lot of projects here. Don't mind that. You guys here just get started by adding a design file. You can use Figma as a web app, or you can download the actual app in Windows or Mac or Linux or whatever the system you are using. And
Isaac,
it will work
sorry to interrupt. Your
perfectly.
screen is not visible. Your screen is not visible. It's a blank screen.
Oh, sorry.
Could you try resharing, please? Hey, sorry for the inconvenience.
1 second.
Okay, just give us a moment.
I hope it's visible now.
Yes, it's perfectly visible. Thank you, Isaac.
All right. So this is the homepage for Figma. Sorry guys about the inconvenience. And you guys can add a screen, add a file by just clicking here. We have a pretty simple layout here. Rather than using Photoshop or Illustrator, you can simply get along with this in minutes actually, because it's just 6 tools and just its properties. We'll introduce you guys through it while we are designing in the coming days, and I'll explain each and every tool while we are doing the project. All right. I mentioned that we are using Figma. Figma is a free and very well-built designer tool that most of the UX and UI designers use to create their mockups, prototypes, and it can be well used to create even Instagram posts, graphic design, etc. Every poster that you see, you saw during the publicity for the event was created in Figma. So it has a lot of functionality, as you can see. We'll get to that during the event, and feel free to ask any doubts or queries that you have in the chats, and we'll clarify them as soon as possible. You guys can hop into the Discord server as well and ask your doubts there. And if you're watching this as a recording later on, we welcome you guys to just say hello in the discussions channel in the Discord server. You can find the links in the chat. That's pretty much about what we'll be looking at in the coming days. And in order for you guys to achieve the get the certificate, you guys will have to complete all these tasks and do the final submission. So that's about it. We are excited that you guys are here. We got an overwhelming response of 600 plus participants, and we are looking forward to doing this with you guys. Over to you, Janice.
Okay, can I have my screen up now? So I'll just give you all an overview of what the event, the details. We actually posted a link on the Discord server. So if you go to the announcements page, you can see this link given, and it will lead you to this page, a Notion page. We actually sent you this via email also. So you can just go there, and the Discord link is given there. So make sure you join the Discord, and then you can create an account on Figma. Figma will be the software we use throughout this bootcamp. And then here you can see a page called timeline. So inside that we have detailed all the topics, all the dates of the live sessions, and the time also. So you can go through that if you have any questions. And we'll be giving you tasks in the gap days, and you can just go to the submission guidelines here, and you can read through this to understand more. And here we also have contact and help, and if you have any queries, you can just contact any one of us. You can also ask any questions you have in the doubts channel of the Discord server. So with that, let's move to today's session. So this is an overview of what we'll be covering today. We'll be giving you an intro on what UI is and what UX is. And we'll be giving you examples to show good versus bad design. We'll be differentiating between UI and UX, and we'll also be covering the different fields in UI UX. And at the end of this live session, we'll be giving you a task. So with that, let's begin.
All right, let's get started with what is UI. So UI is user interface in the long form, and it's about the look and feel of something you interact with. Like for example, here we are working with apps and websites, right? But in everyday products like a milk packet or a ketchup bottle, it's everything is designed to attract the users. So it's all about in UI, it's about the looks and feel. So coming to the next slide, what is UI in definition? So user interface is the point of interaction between the user and the digital product or service. So whenever you actually clicks on an app or a button or a image, you are actually interacting with it. Right. So that's from where the term user interface is coming up. So we in UI design we consider the look, the feel, the interactivity of the product, and the interface may consist of the images, the text entry fields, the text that you read, everything that you see on the phone is that you see on a phone or an app or a website is considered to be a part of the interface. So we as humans are actually interacting with it. That's where the importance of the UI comes in. Now let's just before learning what is interaction, let's just consider two bubbles, right? One is a small bubble that's inside a much larger bubble. Now this small bubble inside the larger one is the UI, and the larger bubble is the UX. So UI is a small minor part of the UI. It's just the beautification, the alignment, the spacing, everything that comes under UI. All the other big bubble is what we'll be exploring more during this workshop. That is the research involved, the user flows, understanding the users, understanding the problems. Janice will cover most of that in the later this session. And what is interaction? So we humans interact with each other. Now I am interacting with you guys, but I am interacting through a website, right? I'm interacting with this website, and you guys are interacting with the website. That is the beautiful software of YouTube, right? The beautiful UI of YouTube. So you guys can comment, like, share, or whatever these YouTubers say these days. But these all comes under interaction. Similarly, we spend our day-to-day lives interacting with different apps, especially during this lockdown, we spend most of the time in these apps. So we touch, click, we use keyboards, right? Before, just think about in the past where mouse was not invented. The people actually used keyboard for that. So when the mouse was invented, it might not have been as easy task, right? So where the two buttons of the mouse should be, where the scroll button should be, these all things can be these all things, the placement of these things comes under UI. Now coming to the next slide. uh, the interactions we talked about includes, like I said, the screen that you see, the YouTube screen that you see, the screen layout where everything is placed, the chats in the right side, the viewing panel in the left side, the comment section, the button, everything. So the transitions, that is when you click a button, it takes maybe there's a minute animation or a single flip of a you guys can see it in Instagram, right? When you double tap on a post, actually the heart shaped icon pops up and blinks twice, right? These all are the things that a UI designer looks at. So now coming to the next slide, what does a UI designer think about? So when designing an app or a website, the UI designer mostly thinks about the beautification of the app, right? So actually, before this, the UX designers provide the UI designers with the wireframes and how everything should be, what comes after, what comes when you click this button, and things like that. So when after receiving all this, a UI designer decides on the icons and the buttons, what color it should be, and each color has a psychology attached to it. So the buttons, the fonts used, the color schemes, the spacing and alignment, like I said, everything, these things that the users see actually comes under UI. So and the responsive design means when you you use YouTube in a mobile phone, the comment section comes under the bottom, right? Everything realigns itself so that the user can actually interact with it smoothly. So these are the things that actually comes under UI design. Now, so far, I think, I don't know if I'm moving too fast. Can you guys press 1 if you are understood so far? Let me just wait for 5 seconds. Press 1 or any number or a fire or something. So I know that you guys understood so far. And okay, and now coming to what actually a UI comes under, examples of the UI. So these are a few screens that I designed previously, and this is just about the beautification. I didn't think about the UX part of it while designing it much, but when it comes to a real life app, there is a lot more than just the beautification, right? Now, one more example that I share is, yeah, this is a dark themed design. The thing is, after completing this 6-day bootcamp, you guys can easily do this because everything is available on the web, or you can learn it from our own Discord community. So that's what this is about. And now let me just say about a two jobs in UI design, specifically in the UI design area. One is interaction designer. So interaction designers focus on the designing the experience of a product and how it functions. These people strive to understand the user flow, the path, what comes after where this button will take the user to, and how many steps will it take the user to complete a simple task. it can be in a website, it can be in a app, or anything that you see in a daily life. And one more job that is specifically for UI designers is actually the big tech companies hire for these particular roles. That is, they search for interaction designers, motion designers specifically. So motion designers actually thinks about what it feels like a user to move through a product. That is the transitions between the different screens, right? To make it more intuitive, to make it more attractive, to make the user wanting to use the app more. So that's the goal of a motion designer, to define everything working smoothly, creating animation, creating minor animations. Even this in Twitter, if you are using Twitter, you can see while you are tapping the like button, it moves a bit, right? Even that comes under motion design. This is a very interesting field you can look up to. We'll learn more about it in the upcoming events. We'll see about that. And that's something about something of an idea about UI. And over to you, Janice, for UX part.
Okay, so coming to the next part, it's UX design. So this is like the counterpart of UI. You always hear both of these terms together, right? So what exactly is UX? Are you all familiar with UI UX? Are you all experienced, or are you students? Are you learning? Just drop it in the chat, okay? So what is UX? So here I have a definition of what UX is. A user's interaction with a product, system, or service. That means a user's interaction with anything from a website to an app to a physical product, and what they experience when they do so. So what exactly does that mean? I'll try to simplify it for you. So imagine you are searching for a website and the site is not loading, or you are watching a YouTube video and it starts to buffer. So what are the things that go through your mind? It's not really a good experience, is it? Maybe you'll feel annoyed, maybe you'll feel frustrated. So just look at the screen. If this comes up, you probably feel frustrated, right? So here is another example. I'm sure you're all experienced with it. This is a little game that comes up on the Chrome browser. And if you press spacebar, you can play it there on the screen. So this is actually taking something, this no internet, which is a frustrating experience, and making it a little less frustrating for you. So it's actually making it a better experience for you. Okay, so I want to, yes, Dino, you're all familiar with it. Okay. So I want to give you another scenario. So imagine a pre-COVID world and you are going to meet your friends and you are running late. So you are in a rush and you go to the building and you see your friends inside and you're about to go inside. And then you see this door. So do you push it or do you pull it? There isn't really a clear indication as to whether you should push it or you should pull it, right? So chances are that whatever you do, it's going to be the opposite of it. And then this will happen. So here there is a sign called pull, but still we're always distracted. We're looking on our phone. We probably won't notice it. So actually these kinds of doors have a name and it is called a Norman door. So a Norman door is any door that is confusing or difficult to use. So doors like this which don't have a clear indication whether we should push it or pull it. Okay, so this is named after Don Norman, and I will show you a brief introduction to him. So he actually introduced the term user-centered design, where the focus is given to the user. So this is where the concept of UX actually came about. So he was kind of behind all of that. And he's actually an author as well. So he has written some books, and this book, The Design of Everyday Things, there's a lot of fundamentals about UX design. So if you are interested, the link is displayed here and you can check it out. Okay, so now coming to UX design, let me just summarize it. So UX design is a human-centered approach, which means we are giving importance to the people who use the product. Their needs, their capabilities, and their behavior are given importance. So we want to give them a good experience. We want them to feel satisfied or happy, things like that. And it's kind of a combination of things like psychology, logic, as well as design. So if you want to know the difference between UI and UX, I think this kind of explains it. So UI is how it looks, the shape or form of a product, and the color and features like that that you visually see. And UX is how you use it and how you experience it. So here we have kind of an image. You probably cannot read the font, but what it means is like UI is what you see on the outside. It is not as detailed as UX. UX is where you come up with information about the user. So you do research and then you come up with a framework for the app, the kind of logical structure for an app before you get to the visual aspect of it. So now I want to give you guys some examples of designs. So this is a ketchup bottle by Heinz, and it is a glass bottle, and it is from the late 19th century. So it's a glass bottle. The packaging is from the late 19th century. So here there is a problem. The thing is, when you use up the ketchup and it gets to the bottom of the bottle, it's difficult to kind of get it out, right? So then in the later redesign, this is from 2001 actually. So in the later redesign, the bottle is now a squeezable material and it rests on its cap. So now you don't have that problem anymore. It's easy to get it out. So this transition shows how a particular UI can be made better by using principles of UX design. So look at this image. Is there anything wrong with this design? You have an elevator and the interface to press a switch to go up or down. So the thing here is you don't know which button to press for which. Is it the one on the right or the one that the arrow is pointing to? It's confusing, right? So it's not good design. Then here we have another example. So this is a staircase, and as you can see here, this is the last step. And here there is no step. This is just the ground, and there's this extra black strip here. So when you come here, there's a chance that you don't pay attention and you trip and fall, right? So this is bad design. And here is another example. So this is the design of a stove, and here you have the 4 parts of it and the 4 knobs which control each of these. And the knobs are actually arranged in a linear way. So there might be a little bit of confusion which knob controls which part of the stove, right? So this design here on the right, the knobs are arranged in the same way that the stove is arranged. So it's a lot more intuitive. And since it's a kitchen appliance, it's a lot better to be very direct so that the user can just look at it and understand which knob controls which. Now, this is a feature from WhatsApp. You all have experience with it, I'm sure. So if you delete a message for everyone, this thing shows up. And there isn't really a point for that. Like, why does that show up? It's not really necessary, and maybe it looks a little bit awkward. So it probably isn't the best experience. So here is an example of good, clean, minimal design. And that is the Google search page. So they also have the Google Doodles sometimes, which is also a great addition to it, right? So now I want to talk to you about fields in UX. So like Isaac said, UI and UX are kind of related. There's a little bit of overlap between the two. So he mentioned interaction design and motion design, right? So those come under UI, but it can also be considered as part of UX as well. And then you have visual designer, then you have UX program manager. So the thing is, when people say UX design, they immediately think of UI, or like the screens, the text, the colors and everything. So there's a lot of different fields in it. You have UX research, you have UX writer, engineer. We'll actually be covering UX writing a little bit later in the bootcamp, and in the next session we'll be covering UX research as well. So yeah, it really is a very diverse field, and you can always get started by yourself. Okay, so now we come to your task for the session, and that is to find examples of good and bad designs. So it can be anything from a physical product or a website or an app that you have used. So you will be actually doing all your tasks on Figma. So I'll just show you how to do it. So if you go on Figma, you can see it here. You can just go on Figma and click on new to create a new project. And then here in the title space, you can give your name. And then you can add a page here. Okay. And then you can rename it as day one, and you'll be doing your task for day one here. So after the second session, we'll be giving you another task, and that you can add another page called day two and do it there. Okay. So for day one, we want you to find examples of good and bad design. And you can submit it as text, or you can add photos or screenshots, anything that you want. So if you go to this T icon here at the top, you can use that to create text, and then you can just start typing. So here you also have a square icon, right? So if you click on the arrow, you can go to place image here at the bottom, and then you can just add a file from your computer. So yeah, so we just want you to come up with examples of good and bad design, and then add it here and add images as per your wish. And then we want you to take this link. Actually, you can just go to the share button here and copy link, and make sure that this option here is on can view and not can edit. Okay, so can view, and then copy the link and post it to the discussions channel on Discord, and that will be your task for day one. So with that, we come to the end of this session. And if you guys have any questions, you can just put it in the comments, and we'll try to answer it as best as we can. Okay, so in the slides, I showed you some examples, right, of the staircase or of WhatsApp, things like that. So what I had was screenshots like this, right? So you can just take a screenshot of something you come across like this, and then add it to Figma. Or if you want, you can just explain it in text. You can type it out here using the text as well. So anything, like it could even be a physical product, like the elevator switch that we showed, the ketchup bottle that we showed, anything like that that you have used and had experience with. Whether it is good or bad, it's fine. Just come up with some examples. And yeah, that's your task for today. So I hope that's clear. If you guys have any questions related to that, you can just ask in the chat.
If you have any queries or doubts, if you have later on, if it's even later on, you can ask them in the Discord discussions channel. We'll clear them up as soon as possible. Or if the other participants in the community knows the answer, you can surely help the other students out. After all, we are building this as a community, because it's to implement peer-to-peer learning, right? Nothing's more great than peer-to-peer learning, right? So if you have any doubts, let's see it in the
So
chat.
Harsha asked when should we submit it. So you can get started on it now. Our next session will be day after tomorrow at 4 p.m. So you'll have till then to submit this. Okay, the names of the books, yes, I can share it again.
Also, if you're asking yourself why we are finding bad and good UI designs, it's because UX designers are problem solvers, right? So in order to solve a problem, we must identify the problem first. So this is just to get you guys started on finding the problems. After that, you will start to see the minor frustrations that you feel while using an app. That is all bad experience, right? So we have to correct that. That's what UX designers do. Whenever an app is revamped or in a completely new design, the UX designers behind it actually solves the the problems that were existing in the previous design. So that's what it's about. It's always about solving the problems rather than just the design.
The Notion link, it's up on screen right now. It is also available on Discord.
Also, let me just get it out there. How many of you guys actually know coding of any sort, like Python, JavaScript, React? I don't know all the names of the languages, but how many of you know coding? Just to know. Drop a Y in the chat if you know some coding, or yes, I'm saying.
I would also like to know who knows coding.
Okay. So the why I ask that is we actually don't need coding. This is zero coding. That's why we opened this to all the students across Kerala and other states, because this is a platform where everyone can have a role to play. Even if you are a content writer, you can write for. There is a role actually called UX writer. So there is a role, there is something something for everyone. Even if you know how to code, you can become a UI developer, a UI program manager, something like that. The product manager, product development. There's a lot of field inside this. It's good.
So one more thing I would like to add on there is that for any developer, especially a front-end developer, to come and make a screen, right? A UI UX designer is really important, because UI UX designer decides how the screens look, how the user interacts with the screen. So whatever the developer has to develop, he develops it based on the design that the designer provides. So it is equally important as a developer, as a UI UX designer, to have both together. So also don't worry if you don't know coding. As Isaac said, we'll also be covering that in the coming session. So we'll have web development bootcamps. We'll have many bootcamps on the server. So stay tuned. So don't even worry about if you don't know coding. We'll figure it out together.
Yeah, for this bootcamp, you don't need to know coding. We'll be using Figma mostly. Yeah, so just the design part.
So if you are a graphic designer or you know some kind of design aspect, it's good that you guys know that you will have an edge over this bootcamp, but others can for sure evolve into that pretty soon. Yeah. And if you are an app developer or a web developer, you guys will now know a new skill, right? So this will improve your communication with your designers that you will be working with in the future. So that's a good thing to have.
So this task submission, you can submit it on Discord in the discussions channel.
You guys can contact us in the Discord server. If you have any doubts, our team will contact you. You can find the number in the Notion link that we share. You guys can reach out us on LinkedIn or Instagram, or if it's on Discord, then it's good because others can also um, uh, learn from the doubts that you guys have.
Yeah, we encourage you to go through other people's submissions so you can get more of an idea and you can interact among yourselves as well.
Yes.
Yes, guys. So also we follow a peer review system. So each of you guys can give feedback to others, and basically we can learn and grow together. So instead of us coming in and giving you feedback, we will also give you feedback. But whoever posts their idea in the channel, others can definitely comment on it, give feedback on it, so that everyone can improve together. That's why we are building this community. Okay, discussion channel, it doesn't allow me to message there. I will actually rectify it.
If there is any bugs or issues with the channel, you guys can say it on the Discord. There is a specific channel for that. If you guys have anything important to share, just contact there. We'll have community leaders there who will assist you guys with anything. And if you guys know a particular answer to the doubt of your peer, you can obviously you should clear that, because that's how it becomes a mutual learning, right? We are also going to learn along with you guys, improving ourselves. So we are looking forward for the next 6 days.
Yes, the bootcamp is completely free.
Yes. Should this be paid? Let's get the next event paid then. We'll see what happens.
Just kidding, guys.
Yes.
Or are we?
We'll give you access to the discussions channel soon.
Could you guys check out? I have given access to everyone to the discussions channel. Could you guys try doing something on the discussions channel?
Sure. You can submit your UI designs for review. Others can, all the members on the community can also review it. You guys can tell your changes to it. Constructive criticism is always welcome, because that's how we become better ourselves, right? This is all important that we learn to take criticism, we learn to take comments, and improve ourselves with it, right?
So is everyone able to message in the discussions channel? If there was a small bug there, but have opened it up. You also check out the doubts channel. I will give everyone permission to access the doubts channel as well.
You can do the task for day 1, and then you can send the Figma link to this channel, to the discussions channel. So yeah, after completing the task for day 1.
Also, if you have any doubts, please do ask in the doubts channel. We have opened up the doubts channel as well. So if you guys have any doubts, you can ask that, so that the discussions and doubts get segregated and we are able to answer them more efficiently. Yes, so both the channels are open. Do we need to post a Figma link now or after doing task for day 1? You can post it after doing task for day 1.
Where is the task?
Is to find good and bad UI designs.
Yeah, also if you go to the announcements channel, you can find a link for the Notion, and we can display it here too, the Notion link.
Yes.
So this Notion page contains everything: the Discord link, the tasks in detail, the timeline, everything is there in the Notion page. So just go through that.
We'll also provide you guys with resources from which you can find ideas in the resources channel. So do check that out. If you find something interesting, you can share that too there, so that others can access it as well.
This video will still be available after this session. It will be available on the YouTube page, and we'll also link it in the Notion page.
Yes, so shall we wind up the session?
Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. We are just getting started. The next days will be more of hands-on workshop, and we'll be working on Figma. So stay tuned for that.
Also,
Yes,
you guys can
definitely.
start. You guys can start thinking about ideas, because at the end of this bootcamp, you will have an app that you designed. So you can start thinking of ideas now